in Congress over the Schumer-Rounds amendment. And a lot more. It's time for another UFO news roundup, so get in here. This is Jack with Cosmic Road. I talk about UFOs and the paranormal. Please hit like, please subscribe, share on social media, and let me know what you guys think in the comments below. Oh, and if you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. See the first link in the description below. Okay, let's just get right to it. There's been a lot of debate and worry over the Schumer-Rounds amendment. Will it get passed? You know, there's the all-important UFO amendment. If it doesn't get passed, you know, our chances of UFO disclosure really diminish to practically nothing in the foreseeable future anyway. But the Schumer-Rounds amendment could actually allow members of Congress to theoretically, hypothetically, get their hands on a freaking UFO, even alien bodies, and present this stuff to the American public if they are so minded to do that. So, you know, clearly we need really good people that are pro-transparency, you know, on the Gatekeeping Committee, and we have Danny Sheehan seeing to that. And I think I trust Danny Sheehan to be pro-transparency. So, you know, all to the good if it gets passed. But will it get passed in a robust fashion? Well, let's listen to Thomas Fessler talk about what is currently going on and the problems that the Schumer-Rounds amendment might be facing. Let's listen. This is a longer clip. You know, it takes a little while to lay it out for us. I mean, the whole episode is really devoted to this issue. But let's listen to a little bit.
Well, according to a bunch of sources out on Twitter, word on the street, Mike, is what Lee brought up earlier, was that disclosure, if you want to call it, or the Schumer Amendment is right now, if you want to, let me go keep on talking here. I've got to fix this. 1, 2, 1, 2, home. Is at risk because of the eminent domain clause that's stated basically. Let me see if I can go ahead and find this. I just had that up a second ago. Bring it up and I'll show the exact language that's getting our disclosure panties in up on in a what do you call it? In a bind. Let me go ahead and find and bring up desktop document. Here we go. What changes, if any, to the current disposition of said material should the government make to facilitate disclosure? Basically, it gives them the opportunity to take any, whether recovered technologies of unknown origin, biological evidence, or non-human intelligence, or a particular subset of materials qualifies for it. So basically, what we're getting into is the request to go ahead and have eminent domain over any of these materials where the federal government has the ability to take any of these said materials into possession. It basically brings up a catch-22 situation where if such a corporation went and invested a bunch of money into a particular crash retrieval, that the federal, and whether that is for materials itself of craft, whether it's mechanical, metallurgical, or technological, or biological in nature, it gives the United States eminent domain over any of those materials, allowing us to go ahead and grab them and pull them back into the possession of the United States government. Casey?
So does this mean that the entire bill or the entire amendment is in jeopardy, or is it a good sign that maybe they're only pushing back on some of the language, meaning the rest of the language will be kept in, so this actually isn't a bad thing necessarily?
It's not a bad thing. It's more of a setback to the situation right now, that it's not going to go in. But this is something where the House has the opportunity to go ahead and come up with their own language, and then they can go ahead and pass it and submit it. And then both bills will come into a process called reconciliation to where this can go through.
So there you go. That is what is going on in Congress right now. They are debating over this idea of eminent domain over this exotic technology. Now, that is a critical feature of the Schumer-Rounds amendment, is the ability of Congress to actually get their hands on a UFO, which they may not be able to get if this eminent domain section of the amendment is stricken. So that seems to be where the trouble is with eminent domain, and it's a big deal. It's very important. It's a, like I say, a critical feature, and we really need Congress to have eminent domain over these objects so they can go to Lockheed Martin and say, hey, I want your UFO. Thomas Fessler and his co-host go on in this episode, a really great episode, and I highly recommend it, and I'll link to it below, to talk about all the various aspects of eminent domain and what that might mean in this context. Does that mean implants? Bob Bigelow has said that they have some alien implants taken from abductees. Does that mean they can go to Bob Bigelow and exert eminent domain over those implants? And they can just knock down all the doors everywhere and get everything that everybody has. We know that TTSA has collaborated with the Army, for example, to study the bismuth piece. Does that mean they can knock down the doors of the Army and get the bismuth piece? What exactly does that mean if the amendment does pass in a robust fashion with that section in it? But most importantly, can they get a UFO? Can they get the bodies? Can they present that to the American people? That's what we need to have happen, and that's what needs to happen. As for the alien implants, I have another question. If they have eminent domain over any exotic material, does that include implants actually inside living people? Can they go to a living person and say, hey, I want your implant, come over here and get some surgery and we're going to take your implant? I hope not. I mean, that was very invasive. Surely the invasiveness of that would outweigh the eminent domain, but I don't know. Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. But it does look like the Schumer-Rounds amendment is going forward and that the whole amendment isn't in jeopardy, only this section about eminent domain. But again, that's kind of the critical feature of the amendment. I mean, the whole idea is for Congress to pry open the chinks of the armor of the control group and get to the juicy meat beneath. Well, the juicy meat is the exotic material in bodies, potentially even living beings. So, we need that section to get passed. So, Godspeed, members of Congress that are pro-transparency and pro-disclosure. I hope you're able to fight this and get this included in the Schumer-Rounds amendment. Okay, you want to laugh? This is going to have you tickled. All right, check this out. I'm not going to play it for very long. I can't stand Stephen Greer for any length of time. But this is hilarious. Okay.
Security, and you probably move pretty safe nowadays, and to take care of yourself and the whistleblowers who they'll become public. But if somebody like that wanted you dead, it seems like they would figure it out how to do it,
Oh, sure.
What do you think is stopping them from doing it?
Two things. I have people who have made it quite clear, if anyone on my team or I get directly threatened or hurt, the people running those covert programs, all of them will be killed.
Stephen Greer is going to take out the control group. I love it. Stephen Greer single-handedly is going to take out the UFO control group if they move against him. That's just, oh my God. It's just, oh wow. I don't even know what to do with that. I'll link to the video below and you can watch the full thing at your leisure if you want. And shout out to Andrew for bringing this clip to my attention. It made my day. Meanwhile, a YouTuber with a whole bunch of subscribers, her name is Gina Maria Calvin Hill, she thinks she's identified a alien docking station near the sun.
That I could work because it's not every day that you'll get a clear image. Okay, here is the inverted view of that docking station, and there are ships. Okay, you can see these ships that are right here. Well, this is not getting too clear, but they're right there. Okay,
I'm not going to play the whole clip, but I'll link to it below and you can watch it. It's really interesting. I've made several videos about the evidence that the beings, whatever they are, or some of them can come and go from the sun, using the sun as a portal. And I've made multiple videos about that. It's really a fascinating part of what seems to be going on. Even the lady in Chris Bledsoe's experience obliquely referred to this going on. So I don't know if there's actually an alien docking station near the sun or not. I'll let you tell me what you guys think about that. But I do think the evidence is really strong that beings can come and go from the sun. Some people think they draw energy from it, but it seems like they can actually use stars as portals to jump from star to star, but also to go beyond, this dimension, to go somewhere else. Sounds crazy, but it's what my research has shown me. If your research has shown something different, let me know in the comments below. Meanwhile, check this out. Ryan Graves' new organization, Americans for Safe Aerospace, which is trying to get pilots to come forward, or to be able to come forward to share their UFO experiences. Well, Jay Stratton has just joined the team. We are excited to welcome Jay Stratton to the team as an advisor. And I love it. I think that's awesome. I can't wait to hear more from Jay Stratton. He's been a very interesting figure in all of this, but usually behind the scenes, we don't hear much from him publicly, even though he's been part of the U.A.P. task force. He was the leader of the U.A.P. task force before Bray took over from him. And, he was part of Skinwalker Ranch. He had a very well-known hitchhiker from Skinwalker Ranch, a particularly terrifying hitchhiker. The dog man, the werewolf, the Skinwalker, whatever it was, followed him home and was seen by multiple members of his family multiple times, and also people in their general orbit. And a terrifying, nightmarish, werewolf-like figure, a big wolf-like, upright, two-legged figure with glowing red eyes that would stare at them from their backyard. And, a truly terrifying experience that, I know I would not have wanted to go through. But yeah, so the man that was haunted by a werewolf was actually the director of the U.A.P. task force. And now he is joining Ryan Graves in his pursuit to get pilots to come forward to share their UFO experiences. And if you want to read more about Jay Stratton's experience with the dog man or the Skinwalker or whatever it was, that with that terrifying hitchhiker that he and his family experienced, check out the book Skinwalkers at the Pentagon by George Knapp, James Latatsky, and Colm Kelleher. Meanwhile, there's an article from the Daily Star. Aliens threaten our concept of reality. NASA could send world into ontological shock. A NASA bombshell confirming alien existence would leave us all questioning reality. An expert in psychology of belief claims. Dr. Malcolm Schofield, a psychology lecturer at Derby University, was speaking exclusively to the Daily Star in the wake of NASA's report on UFO sightings. The report, which Dr. Schofield admitted was a bit dry, didn't really provide the juicy "we found aliens" detail that many were hoping for. In fact, it only said that aliens controlling mysterious objects in the sky was plausible, but failed to rule it either in or out. However, that might not be the worst thing in the world. Dr. Schofield explained there is a body of research at the moment looking at a term called ontological shock as an ontology, the nature of reality. So if something this big comes out, it's going to make a lot of people question that concept of reality, and it is going to make them question their beliefs in society at large. Well, this idea has been around for a while, although that term ontological shock is a fairly new buzzword. But I do think it's significant that news outlets like the Daily Star are running with this story. And I'm wondering where that will lead. Will that lead the public to embrace the UFOs more? Like, now that they're aware of the idea of ontological shock, will they be more open to it? Or will they be more scared of it? Because if they're aware of the idea of ontological shock, they could be braced for that. And it could actually help them deal with the ontological shock. So I'm wondering if articles like this, and this sort of information, this sort of narrative, could actually help people deal with it? Or could it start a fear reaction where they're fearing the ontological shock and it could lead to more negative experiences? What do you guys think? Let me know in the comments below. Oh, and there's a new article about the really interesting Gulf of Mexico UFO sighting reported by Matt Gates. And I'll link to that article below. Here's a quick breakdown of it. Let's see, the incident involved, and this was in 2023 in the Gulf of Mexico. The incident involved at least one United States Air Force aircraft. The aircraft was on a test mission. The airspace was supposed to be clear. There were 4 craft in a clear diamond formation. One pilot checked out the formation and saw an orb. His radar went down and the forward-looking infrared equipment malfunctioned. He manually took the image which Representative Gates viewed. The pilot told Gates explicitly that reporting U.A.P. was being discouraged. Hopefully that is getting better. I don't know. Okay, that's it for today. Let me know what you guys think about this UFO news roundup. Are you as amused as I am by Stephen Greer taking out the control group? And what do you think about the fate of the Schumer-Rounds amendment and that very important section about eminent domain and all the other stuff? Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a big thumbs up. I sure would appreciate it. Smash the subscribe button and the bell to be notified of future videos. You don't want to miss a thing. Join me on social media. There's Facebook and Twitter links below. I would love to see you guys there. If you wanted to share this video on social media, that'd be super groovy. If you wanted to support Cosmic Road in a bigger way, please consider becoming a channel member. Channel members are rock stars, and I really appreciate you guys' support. Thank you. Meanwhile, there's plenty of other videos to check out on the channel, and I'll see you guys next time. This is Jack with Cosmic Road, signing out.